Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon. Today we are taking a look at Legacy of You. So this is the second game in the Ancient Civilization trilogy. This one's following up Hadrian's Wall. I can't remember all of the different trilogies he's got out there. So a smaller box game, and this one actually is solo only. So welcome to the channel, Legacy of You. So this one follows the adventures of you here, who supposedly helped build channels along the Yellow River, because the Yellow River would always flood and create lots of carnage, and he created this canal system to divert the floods. Also, I guess, fighting off the barbarians. I don't know why he's carrying a giant tuning fork. I haven't really looked into his history, but anyways, if we flip this over here, you can see that it is very Paladins of the West Kingdom vibe to it. Also a Hadrian's Wall vibe. It's a, very horizontal board here with some cards at the top. And you're basically going to be going through your deck using these townsfolk cards to gain resources or possibly tuck them when you have available space to make your harvest action that much better. All until you basically choose to shuffle up and take your exhaust pile, shuffle it up, and turn it back into your ready pile, at which point the flood moves. So you kind of control that. At some point you're going to run out of cards, but you're trying to build the canals and stay ahead of the flood. There's also a storybook in this game, so there's a bit of a little tiny bit of legacy campaign. I don't think there's any destroying cards or anything like that. I think it's perfectly replayable. It's been kind of kept under tight wraps, so I'm not sure what the story's about. But for those of you interested, at the end we will take a look at these two promo decks. One is for Hadrian's Wall, and one is for this game. Came as part of the Kickstarter. So let's go ahead and take a look here. This one has been pretty quiet, simply because I think Scholars and Wayfarers has kind of taken the majority of people's attention who are Garphill fans. Also, this one's solo only, so it is a very niche audience. But we have our typical art style, typical going to be wooden resources, some tokens in here, lots of iconography. The iconography does look like it's different from what we've seen in the past. Usually it's pretty straightforward, but like everything over here is pretty new to me. Other than the Crowry shell and the provisions looking a little different, all the rest of this makes sense. So there you go. One thing that I did think was cool when I was reviewing the rule book was that it says this round structure here, and they actually give you a spot because you're placing cards down, and as you build the canals, you're removing those cards. You have to pick up your little boat, and it actually gives you a spot on the rule book to place the boat. So there you go. There's the rule book. Nice little touch there. All right, so this is the storybook. This is the we are not going to open this up. So I'm just gonna, it's just text straight from the beginning. So this is, like a little book of secrets, a little legacy book. So you'll be instructed to follow along. It is a fail forward campaign. So if you lose, you still advance in the story. And I think it's like 6 chapters or 6 games or something like that. And you've played through the story. So, okay, here are 2 of our provisions, which are the only 2 in cardboard, so I'm sure at some point you'll be able to find upgraded versions of these on Etsy, but these are your provisions, and these are your cowrie shells. I'm not sure what the significance behind the cowrie shells. I know people like to make hemp necklaces out of them, but I don't know whether they were used to like fortify the canals or they were traded for money. I don't know. I don't know what their significance is. So here's the board. It's not too bad. Certainly not as wide as, say, Paladins of the West Kingdom with all of its expansions. But So you're going to have townsfolk cards up here at the top that you can gain. You're also going to have barbarian cards coming in from this way that you're going to have to fend off. And then down here is where your particular piles go, as well as areas for you to tuck cards to increase your harvest. So everywhere you see this kind of rising sun over the water icon, that's your harvest. So every time there's a harvest phase, you get all this stuff. But similar to paladins, you're gonna see these spots with buildings at the beginning of the game, pay to remove them, and then that means you're gonna get that much more during your harvest, or your white workers, your laborers, can equal different various things, so they become much more potent meeples. Nothing on the backside. All right, we have a very nice storage tray here. It even shows you pictures underneath of what is expected to be stored in here. So yeah, that's nice. It's a nice little touch. Okay, we got story deck. We'll take a look at these here in a second. And I know this is the story deck. So this, I think, should actually be right there. And then townsfolk cards, barbarian cards, huts, canals, other setup cards, victory, defeat cards, and history. History. Well, that's interesting. I don't know quite what goes in there. Anyways, this is probably the best insert I've ever seen from a Garphill game. Yeah, it's like part of the bottom of the box. That is a really nice touch. So yeah, there we go. Let me get this back in there. Look at that. All right, so there's that. Let's push that aside and we'll take a closer look at some cards and resources. All right. So, nothing too out of the ordinary here. Standard meeples in various colors. These are exactly like all the other meeples in their games. And then you've got wood and clay. This is exactly like, say, from Architects and any other game that uses wood or clay. And then we have these, which look very similar to Paladins. These are probably the same shape as from Paladins, but in a different color. These look to be new, and these are new. I think like this is a farm, a hut, and something else. Anyways, this is your little barge that shows where you are on the river, and this is the flood marker. So you want to stay ahead of this. These are all wooden, and a lot of that stuff goes up there like that. Okay, so again, this is story deck. We're not going to look at this. It is numbered 0 to 69. Here it says flip this over, and that's it. So unless an action in the storybook indicates you to find this circular stone here, a certain card, then we don't look at that. So we're certainly not going to open that up. So it's really just one deck of cards here. There should be something for me to get my finger behind. All right. So these are going to be your canal cards. The board already has the canals pictured on them, so these are randomly in the 5 and 6 spot. You'll choose 2, so there's 4 to choose from in the 3 or 4 slot, and the 1 and 2 slot. So you'll just shuffle these cards up, randomly pick 2, and put them in those first 2 slots. And you'll see that what's above here is what you have to pay to remove the card, aka build the canal, and then what's down below is what you get or have to do once the canal is built. All right, that's pretty straightforward. Then we have, hold on here, let me take a look at these. So these are spaces that are going to cover up what on the map is pre-pictured your little village. So as you clear away here and then can build in this area, you will clear these cards away and it'll give you more slots to tuck townsfolk cards and more places to put your buildings, which we already talked about. As you remove buildings, will increase your engine. Then there are these 2 cards. These have to do with the story. And so these are victory cards and these are defeat cards, the black ones, and the gold ones are the end. So I think this gold one here, where he's looking rather sad would be if you lost the whole thing. So I think it would technically look like that and that stacked away. So I guess they give you little somethings or help progress the story along. I'm not going to. Most of what it looked like was on the backside was purely numbers in the storybook or story deck. All right, here's the main crux of the game. That's really not that many, to be honest with you. This is it. Very interesting. I'm wondering if they're going to be pushing for an expansion for this. Well, we did get a little promo. Anyways, these are your townsfolk cards. So you could exhaust one to get this top resource. You could discard it completely, so it's completely kind of gone from your deck to get both the brown and red one. Or at some point, they said not at the very beginning of the game, but the storybook will introduce rules that you have to utilize food. And so this guy he looks like a fisherman. He can help you catch fish. But other than that, you don't need to worry about it. You can also tuck this card if you have a spot available to then get a yellow worker at every harvest. This one's going to get you a blue worker. This one's going to get you a wood and a crowry shell. So you can see how this goes along. The artwork's fun, but really doesn't mean anything. It's just this stuff here and this stuff down here. And then last but not least, we have our barbarians. So barbarians are pretty tough to beat because not only do you have to pay provisions, but you also have to send certain types of your workers off to fight them to defeat them. If you do defeat them, you get what's in the red banner over here. And if you don't, if they're still there on top of your board at the end of a round, then they're going to do this stuff at the bottom. So you're either going to have to, in this case, I think it's destroy a card, or I don't know if it's pay a yellow worker or sacrifice a yellow worker. I'm not sure. But there you go. So there's the barbarian cards back. There's the townsfolk cards back. And that is going to do it. So again, we'll take a quick look here at the promo cards, and that'll be it for our Legacy of You unboxing. Okay, so ironically enough, this was just one pack of promo cards for 3 different games, and I think I maybe have just added on this one. This is also for Hadrian's Wall, so let's go through these just real quick. This is a single card, single card for Legacy of You, and it helps you increase the difficulty. He's the Barbarian Champion, and you can slot him in. They say slot him into the middle, roughly. Also, it gives you 2 other ways to increase the difficulty for Legacy of You. So, there you go. Single promo card. These are 4 cards for Raiders of Scythia, and they didn't seem to come with any rules, so I'm assuming you just shuffle them in. Here is a whole new set of wait, I got these backwards. This is the actor one, and this is the, I switched them around. Okay. All right. So these, you shuffle these fate cards in, and you'll notice that some of them attack 2. So when you flip these over, basically at a certain point of the game, they might attack 2 at once, 2 parts of a wall, and then there's other cards where they don't attack any. So it just kind of mixes it up. And they make a note here that favors can only prevent 1 section at a time. If you're familiar with Hadrian's Wall, that makes sense. Fun little card back on that rules sheet right there. But other than that, they all match. So you can just mix these in. I guess technically, if you wanted to decrease the difficulty, you could just shuffle in the blank ones, and if you wanted to increase the difficulty, you could just shuffle in the doubles, or to kind of keep it neutral, just shuffle them all in. And then last but not least, we have the actor cards, and so there's basically 1 for each player color in Hadrian's Wall. And so this is just 1 more card that gives you the pattern. You can put the choice of resources or bonus resources, things like that. It's basically giving you all the same thing. So yeah, there is that. Just 1 additional card, which is fun to have. So So in case anybody was curious how it looked in the box, again, the insert is so straightforward, but in case you guys wanted to see what it looks like, a little bonus content for you here at the end of the video. Here's just all the flat pack stuff, and again, the various spots for the cards. To my knowledge, there's no history cards yet, or other setup cards. So again, I opened up the storybook deck and just put it in there, but crowry shells, provisions, wood, clay, here's your huts, and here's your people. Remember, this is a solo only game, so there's only enough resources essentially for a single player. So that's why you don't see a lot. There's not a lot needed. Plenty of room for sleeved cards, assuming this is all the cards we're going to get for the game. They're going to be rearranged here, but obviously plenty of room to sleeve them. So that's going to do it for our unboxing of Legacy of You. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the comment section below. Keep an eye out for a how to play video and probably a playthrough video incorporated with that, because it appears to be a pretty quick game. It says 60 minutes, but I'm guessing once you get rolling, you could probably do one in like 45. So we'll see. Certainly how to play video coming up soon. That's going to do it for today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Have a great day.